Welcome to Metaphysical Soul Speak. I'm your host, Elena Fox Starks. Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well in this moment in time. And that whenever and wherever you are, that you can be grateful for all of the changes that is taking place inside of you. So wherever and whenever you are inside of you, in your mind, in your emotions, in your body, in your spirit body, wherever you are, whenever you are inside of you, I hope that you're able to be grateful for all of the changes, because those internal changes are just turning and churning and burning us from the inside out right now. And this is the Lionsgate portal, 7/7, July 7th, and this is a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big day. Leads us up into the 8/8 gateway of August. And we've been going through this again and again and again, haven't we? I mean, for years. It's been 2-3 years. Now, if you are aware of your spiritual awakening only in the past week or two, or in the past couple months, when you really start looking back at the past 2 to 3 years, even if you weren't like awake or like aware of it, you were probably still going through all of these physical changes that has led to your ascension. And you're in the 5th dimension right now, but you might not be aware of it. If it looks the same, it feels the same, things are a little off. They're a little weird, a little different, but you think to yourself, it's just me. It's not. Yeah, that's not true. I'm in the 3rd dimension. That's ridiculous, right? And there's times when you know you're in the 5th dimension, and then there's times when you say, oh gosh, maybe I'm just fooling myself. The 5th dimension was supposed to be this lovely, fluffy bunny, happy rainbow, filled with unicorns and fairies everywhere. And that's not what I'm seeing. And I was supposed to build it out, according to some people, and that's not what I'm seeing. The buildings are still here. The people are still here that I didn't really like. The ones I didn't really want to be with. Oh, well, I can't wait to be in the 5th dimension to get away from her. Can't wait to be in the 5th dimension so I don't have to hear from his side of the world anymore. Well, the 5th dimension is in you when you are raising and lifting your vibration up, up, up. That's all it is. It's just lifting your vibration. Now, if there's somebody who's like, say, in the lowest part of the 3rd dimension, very dense, stuck energy, and you're going higher and higher in the 5th dimension, it's possible one day they won't be able to see you at all anymore. It is possible. It's very weird, but it's possible. I've been invisible in front of people since I was probably around 18 was the first time I noticed it, but it's possible it happened before then. I don't know what happened. I just felt like nobody looked at me, no one saw me, and I was invisible, and I became invisible a couple times. And someone ran her shopping cart, random lady, ran her shopping cart into me, and I looked at her shocked, like, what the hell? And she looked at the wheels, and she looked at the cart, and she pulled the cart back and ran into me a second time. She was absolutely invisible, or I was absolutely invisible to her. She couldn't see me. I'm right here. I'm right here. I said in a very meek and quiet voice, I'm right here. And she couldn't see me. I moved the hell out of her way. She was about to run into me a third time. Scared the crap out of me. Now, I remember that same day, I tried to get deli meat and cheese. And I'm waiting and waiting for them to wait on me. And they wouldn't wait on me. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, there's a couple people, they helped a couple people, and then they went away, and I'm the only one at the counter, and the girl ignored me. And then somebody else came by, and they helped them instead of me. And I'm like, I was here first. What the hell? I was here first. And the minute I became adamant about who I was, I popped right back into existence and they could see me. Now, I don't claim to say that I was, when I was 18, super high in vibration. Quite the opposite. I was very, very, very much wanting no one to see me. I wanted to be invisible. I had been heavily abused my whole childhood, after the age of like 5. And I just felt like nobody saw me. And I kind of, after a while, it was like a superpower, and I didn't want anyone to see me. But it's quite possible that these are the things that might be happening. But all the other fluffy bunny rainbow crap, I mean, if you go back and look at, especially if you're brand new to the spiritual awakening thing, like you just woke up to a few things and you started to look into spiritual stuff that you never, ever gave a crap about before. Now you're like, wait a minute, what is this stuff? Metaphysics, what is that? Astral projection, whoa. Reincarnation, we get to live again? I lived before? What? You start to learn about these things and you're just like, oh my God. It's a whole new world. It's a whole bunch of things you didn't even know about, right? So when you first wake up, it's like, oh my God, you're like a kid in a metaphysical candy store. But the candy is like books and information and videos. And so right now you have to be aware of all of the things taking place inside you. Today is the end of Sirius star being close to us. This is the end of that. Tomorrow it will start to go away from us again. And it won't come back until later in the month. Like, I think the 23rd and 24th of July. So there's that. Now, Shri and Kira, they just put out a video today. In fact, as I'm recording this, I think they're still recording the last half of that. I had to jump off so I could start the show tonight. But because God said, get it done early. Get it done early. I'm like, oh God, then we might have another big wave coming tonight of energy. Then it might just knock me on my butt for 8 or 9 or 10 or 12 hours. I don't know. I have had a lot of energy, I can't even tell you, I've had a lot of energy downloads, I guess, upgrades, downloads, light codes. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's happening, and I just feel overwhelmed. I mean, I'll go about my day and it's 9 hours take place in what seems like an hour. It's like, what the hell? Several days in a row now. And what Kira, I should say, Kira has said, from Shri and Kira, you can find them on Instagram, you can find them on, also on YouTube, and I highly recommend them also, because they've been on this spiritual journey for a long time. They've been on the ascension, like knowing full well this is going to happen for 18 years. Now, I was aware of it in 1987, but I thought, cool theory. Yeah, bro, nice story. I didn't totally, I hoped it was true. I always had it in the back of my mind, like, ooh, if it happens. And I remember the big thing was telepathy. That's the one thing that snagged me. I'm like, oh, hell no. I don't want people knowing what I'm thinking. Oh my God. I'm such a bitch inside my mind. I'm so mean. I'm judgmental. Oh, I don't want anyone to know me inside my mind. Oh my God. I was the sweetest person on the outside when I was 18. Oh my God, I was so sweet. And on the inside, I was judging people like a mother. Just like, well, I don't like those shoes with that. I look at that hair. The makeup, oh my God. She needs less makeup. She needs more makeup. Maybe they should smush their faces together. I mean, okay, I wasn't that bad, but I know that I was judgmental and I was so scared. What if I would never want to hurt anyone's feelings. So, oh my God, what if they find out I'm thinking those thoughts? And as I got older, my thoughts became more pure and my meanness came outside. It was outside of me. So like, I just blurt out crap, and then after a while I wasn't that mean, like I toned that down quite a bit. Every now and again I'll bust out something that's mean and funny just to entertain people, but it's most of it I've gotten rid of that. From the age of 18 to 50, there's a huge freaking journey there, there's a lot of things happen. You stop caring about some things and you start caring about other things that you never thought you would care about. And, well, life happens, stuff happens. So I knew in 1987 that we were going to possibly ascend. I also knew that that's possibly total bullshit. And for about 3 years, I'm like, oh my God, I should have kind of never dropped that thread in my life. I should have ran with that since 1987. Like, I've always been on a spiritual path, but I didn't realize it was the ascension of all mankind going into the golden age. Oh my God. I pretty much thought I'm on my own personal ascension path, and if I get it done this life, I do. If I don't, well, I'll come back again, damn it. I remember the Jehovah's Witnesses coming to my door and telling me, there's going to come a time when the world is going to look like this, and they'd show me these beautiful pictures. Oh my God, such beautiful pictures. And I thought these people were out of their fucking minds. But they were very sweet, so I just let them, talk about their pictures. Okay, the world is going to, ascend into this beautiful, glorious heaven on earth situation, and we will have 1,000 years of peace. Don't you want that? And I would say, yes, I do. And they said, well, you should join us at our church. I'm all, oh, hell no, I ain't about that. There's no way in hell you're going to convert me to your weird-ass religion. I'm never going to stop celebrating my birthday, yo. I'm never going to stop celebrating life and every possible holiday there is. So you guys are cool, and you can come and talk to me and show me these beautiful pictures of people petting lions and petting lambs and whatever the hell you think might happen in the world, because it's a beautiful visualization. It's something lovely to think about, but I mean, I ain't gonna join your religion. Hell nah. And I never did. Obviously, I never did. But I actually converted to Islam a few years back, 7 years ago, in 2012. Thought the world was ending. Coincidentally, it was that year. Just in case, gotta get it right with my God. But which is all of our gods. It's all the same person. But no matter what you call him, however which way you slice it, he's still the prime creator of the universe. You say God, goddess. There's a goddess, God and goddess. They're the creating efforts of the whole universe, right? But according to Kara, and they have been on the ascension path consciously for 18 years. I've been on a spiritual path, but I thought it was only my own, right? So they were on the let's ascend ourselves and help ascend humanity for 18 years. I didn't think that my influence would reach really much farther than my children. And even then, it's iffy, right? Your children never listen to you. I didn't listen to my parents so much, and, they didn't listen to me either. So I didn't expect my kids to really follow the ascension path so much. But they both have their own spirituality, which is wonderful. They were able to figure it out. But anyway, according to Kara, what's going on is we are Oh God, since Sunday, we are on a accelerated path right now. If you are consciously making an effort to ascend right now, we are living 1 year worth of spiritual growth every freaking day. Oh my God. Does that explain it for you guys? When you heard that, did you hear it? 7 years and 7 days of spiritual growth. I mean, the shadow side, the crap that comes out. We are accelerating at a rate of 1 year per day for 7 days. I urge you to go listen to the Sri and Kara show that they did live. Let's see, it's 8:13 right now. 13, yay. So, I guess it started about 7 o'clock, I would imagine. I jumped on a little bit late myself, but I couldn't believe it. Blew my mind, and I'm like, I'm going to record my show early. God did say something's coming tonight, and I've got to get this show done early, so I'm doing it. I listen when he talks because he's knows everything compared to me, who barely knows anything. I know my spiritual stuff, though, for the most part. I've got it down, and then sometimes I get updated information. It's like, ooh, didn't know that yet. That's pretty cool, actually. So any insights or spiritual things that come to me, I always share with you guys, because we're all in this boat together. You are me, I am you. In Lak'ech, I am another yourself. Mitaku e o yasen, we all are one. My twin flame and I were talking today, and then I got into something else, and I wasn't completely invested in the conversation somehow. Now you have to realize I've never met him in person. I've never had a text or a call or an email, nothing. I don't know this person. But we've been telepathing for months. So all my fears from 1987, they don't really have much of a basis in reality. I love telepathing. It's amazing. Telepathing isn't where everybody knows all of your thoughts constantly. You can select what they know. At least that's where I'm at right now. I feel like I could probably, hear other people's thoughts. Sometimes I do. I pretty much try to stay out of other people's heads. I got a lot going on in my own. I don't really need to branch out. Really don't need that. But my beloved and I were talking this morning, and I wasn't totally talking with him for a couple minutes. I was busy. Someone had written me on Instagram, and I do try to talk to people when they write me, especially about spiritual things, when they're going through various crises or when they have a question spiritually, and I'm at Mermaid Girl 888 in case you want to talk about the show or something, maybe you have an idea for an upcoming show. That's always good. I always accept information from other people that, hey, why don't you do a show on this? Holy crap, I never heard about that. Let's do a show on that. You're right. Or I love it when people go, well, do a show on this. It's like, did that one last year. I've done almost 500 shows. A week from Thursday will be my 500th show. So, there's a lot I've talked about. It's pretty cool. Okay, so I was talking to my twin tonight, this morning, and I kind of drifted off, and I was kind of doing my own thing for a minute, and he's like, hey, did you leave? I don't want you to leave. And he had this abandonment energy that came over him that I felt through me, and I'm like, well, I'm never gonna leave you. I'm just talking to somebody. And yesterday and today, a lot of the jealousy thing came up in our conversation. I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna bring my groceries. He's so cute. Oh my God. I get to meet him because for a couple times when I order groceries once a week, and usually I talk to him, and then somebody else picks up the groceries from him, and then they drive him over. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get to meet him. How cool. And he got jealous. He's like, well, what are you gonna do with him? I'm like, nothing. Oh my God, what can happen? Like, a guy is dropping off groceries for me, and then he's leaving the house. He's leaving right away. It's like, I don't speak to him in any other way other than, yeah, buy me this bread and not that bread. You know what I mean? Like, he'll send me 2 pictures and go, do you want these macadamia nuts or these macadamia nuts? So we get a really good and complete order, and he did a great job. I was so excited because I'm like, oh my God, you did a great job with my groceries. And I was so excited about it because in the past, if someone can't find something, they just cross it off the list and I get refunded the money. And it's such a bummer when you don't get the English muffins or the bagels that you wanted. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh yeah, I'm excited. I need to meet this guys. And he just got jealous about that. I'm like, what? You're not even in my life yet. Why don't you find me and write me and text me so that we can be together? Like, when we are fully together, we are fully together. That's me. I'm very, very, very loyal person. And I've been waiting for him. I haven't had a relationship in 3.5 years, waiting for him. I dated a little bit, like, was it last year or the year before? I don't know. Yeah, last year I had 1 date. It was just a friend that we met online, and we had everything in common. Michael Sherhan of Ashtar Command came to him years before me, and years before he came to me, and I started channeling him last year. So I thought that was kind of cool, and I feel like Ashtar probably brought us together. Because we have that in common, and it's like so lonely being here. And I even had told him I feel so lonely being here in this country where nobody is interested in anything I'm interested in. And within a week of me telling Ashtar Sherhan that, I met this person, which is cool because he and I talk every now and again. We've been sending each other funny alien cartoons about 2020 lately. I mean, it's just been really funny. He sends me one, I send him one. It's like, yeah. It showed, he sent me a cartoon of aliens in a soup line with humans, just like we're all in it together, It's like that's the year 2020 has become, just aliens in a soup line with us, But my shadow side of my counterpart has come through me, and I feel the energy inside me. And so I've had to work these things out with him in the 5th dimension, like we're telepathing in this way, like we're really working some stuff out, and we're both wondering, like telepathing with each other. We're wondering, like, when he contacts me for the first time, is it going to be, hi, my name is da-da-da, how are you? Or is it going to be, so about that conversation we were talking in our minds together with yesterday, like, what do you think about, you know what I mean? Like, is it going to be like that? Or is it going to be, let's start fresh, clean slate, like we don't know each other? Like, we haven't been talking for 6 months already. It's like weird. We've been having these weird, I'm like, we'll find out. We'll figure it out as it happens, as it comes around. And I don't know to what extent he's remembering our conversations or even aware of them. And I don't think I think he's thinking the same thing. Like, I don't know if this is real, or if I'm talking to someone in my head, because we've been in freaking isolation for months. And we're all going a little crazy. We're all getting a little sad. But this whole telepathy thing, I'm actually kind of digging it. I'm liking it quite a bit. Now, I hope that the other person can remember and know what we've been speaking of, because that's super annoying to have conversation after conversation after conversation. And then like to meet them in person and they're like, what the hell are you talking about? You're crazy. And you don't want to bring the crazy up right away, right? You just certainly don't want to bring it up because you don't want to show it too soon. There's the ace in the back pocket, right? I'm going to show you my crazy after you have a commitment with me. I'm just kidding. And face it, we all have crazy, so don't judge me. You also have your crazy. Everybody has their little bits of crazy. Oh gosh. But I hope that you guys are able to focus on, meditate, water, rest, be aware. What Kira was saying is on Thursday, everything's going to start turning back around because it's going to be heavy, heavy, heavy up until then. Where June was that anger exploding upward or exploding outward, and a lot of it was anger. And now the anger might be coming this week as well. I felt it from my twin. I felt his energy of being a little bit angry, a little bit hurt, a little upset. Upset at his childhood. I know I've been upset about my childhood, but I went to therapy for years. But I still have to bear the brunt of what he's going through. He's my twin. He's got to bear the brunt of what I'm going through because I'm his twin. There's a lot of healing taking place. I lit a candle for him last night. I want him to feel protected, loved, and safe. I asked the angels to surround him. I asked God to protect him. But I want you guys to be aware that with every breath, how many months worth of work are you doing with every breath? I'm a month ahead already. I mean, for real, it is this way. It feels like it, doesn't it? We're accelerating so much. Like, imagine between now and 2027 is what Kira was saying. Between now and 2027, all the spiritual growth you will have done, you're doing that now this week. If you're really working on yourself, by Sunday, you will be 7 years ahead. I mean, that's incredible, right? That's what we're going through, guys. That's where it's at, baby. That's where we're going, just keep your mindfulness, stay in nature, go through your shadow stuff that comes up, like with my twin giving me information, like saying, look, I've never, gotten over the idea of jealousy. And I'm like, well, what is that? And we had this deep conversation, and he said, because I wasn't paid attention to as a child, and when I have someone in my life, when you come into my life and into my world and we are together as a couple, if you stop paying attention to me, it would break me. So I'm upset when you pay attention to other people, and I'm upset when you stop the conversation for a few minutes when we're in the middle of it. And I'm like, but if you were here in the room with me, honey, I wouldn't do that. I'd shut the tablet off and be 100% with you. But we're telepathing, and it's strange and unusual, but I have things that I do on a day-to-day basis, and if we were together, you would understand that. But I would be honest with you and say, look, in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to be on my thing, but I will set a timer. And when you need time alone, then we could do our time alone together. That's how I would, do it. And so I explained that to him, and he's like, okay. And he felt better. I'm like, but you've got this wounded child inside you that you need to heal. But I'm not going to make you heal that by yourself because we're twins, and I'm going to be with you, and we're healing that together. Because I have that same wound, all right? As I'm a twin flame too, so I've got the same wound. It's really weird, so I've been really super aware of my counterpart's shadow side, and is bringing up parts of my shadow side, and I'm healing those wounds inside of me as well, and I'm helping him, and I'm asking, the forces that be to please help him, because he deserves that. And you could do the same thing for yourself as well as your twin, even if your twin flame is in heaven and as kind of working, for you as like a spiritual guide, like a guardian angel. Because no matter who you are, you have a twin flame. There was some guy going around recently saying that there's only 144,000 twin flame pairs, and no one else has one. I'm like, where the flock are you getting your information, honey? Because in order to live in the third dimensional world, you have to have had a twin flame. Our first lives are with our twins. In our last lives, we have the option to incarnate yet one more time with our twins. And all the lifetimes in between, we never see them, ever. If they're incarnate at the same time, they're on the other end of the world, we're never going to meet them. But usually they're in heaven, or we're in heaven helping them, as we're their guardian angel. Not the only one. We all have a guardian angel. We all have spiritual guide, but then we also have our twin flame as well. So it's like extra help. We have a spiritual team, right? So, this guy's like, well, I channel. And I'm like, yeah, but did you ever think to ask more and more about the twin stuff, like from the beginning? And he's like, well, no. And I'm like, well, yeah, you're putting out false information or erroneous. Like it might be true information that 144,000 pairs exist, but on Earth together right now. But I think it's more than that, honestly. This 144,000 thing is just taken from a story in the Bible that has nothing to do with twin flames. It has nothing, it was just one chapter. It had nothing to do with the quote unquote rapture or whatever. It had something to do with something else. I can't remember what. Like 144,000 people survived the flood, Noah's Ark. I don't know. I can't remember. But it literally was just a random number picked out of the Bible. And New Age people start bandying this about, the 144,000 this, 144,000 that, 144,000 are ascending. Well, what the hell's going on with the rest of the world? Billions are going to die. So 144,000 people can live. This is stupid. It's not going to happen like that. And I even said in the beginning, like a year ago, it's going to be 144,000, and then they're going to lift the next 144,000 up, which will lift up the next 144,000. But now I believe that, screw that number. I feel like it's just going to be as many of us as possible going up to the fifth dimension. A lot of people are dying right now from the COVID-19, and there will be a lot of people dying from other things too. Starvation due to locusts is a thing. A lot of things are happening. Don't be alarmed. Don't think about it. Let's keep moving forward. Do what you can. Sign the petitions, make the donations, whatever you need to do that you can do. And if you can't do those things, just pray. And pray for the people. Be aware of what's going on with other people. Pray for them, and then keep on your own path. Because the more love and light you bring into your body, the more love and light you bring into your home, your block, your neighborhood, and the world in general. But be aware of your shadow side. Go through it. Think about why you feel the way you feel. If you feel jealous, what is that really? If you're jealous of your partner talking to somebody the opposite gender, are they really gonna just, the pizza delivery boy got here, do you think she took 2 extra seconds because she's actually having sex with him? Probably not. They're probably counting change. I mean, be realistic, right? But what is the fear? Like if somebody does cheat on you, or if somebody does pay attention to someone other than you, what is the fear there? What is that deeper underlying thing? Where does it stem from? Is it a wounded child whose parents never talked to them? Is it being raised in an unsafe, unstable home? You know, these are the things that will be coming up this week. Clear it out. Forgive, forgive, forgive. Forgive other people. Forgive yourself. Stop judging others. Let go and allow the joy and the peace wash over you as you let this stuff go. Your anger is not what makes you you. Your jealousy, these are not parts of your personality. These are shadow side things that come out. So you don't have to say, I'm an angry person. And then shit, now I'm locked into that. I gotta damn well be angry for the rest of my damn life. No. you don't, that's like comes from a wound. So you don't have to accept this as who you are forever. I mean, I always joke around about being a curmudgeon. I used to joke a lot more with my kids about it. We had the curmudgeons club. We had times where we were over other people. We don't want to be around them or talk to them. We had moments like that right after my husband died, and we all went through a lot of trauma and a lot of things. I mean, being homeless, all kinds of crap we went through. And we would just be like, one of us would say, now call to order the meeting of the curmudgeons club. We hate other people. Who agrees? Who concurs? The ayes have it. We hate other people. And then we'd laugh about it because we know that we don't really hate other people. Then we go, well, we don't really hate other people. We just don't want to be around other people. And we would sit around thinking about conversation stoppers. When people we don't want to deal with start talking to us about really boring things, what can we say to stop the conversation? And we had all these, we would throw out a number, conversation stopper 153. Well, when the aliens abducted me, I threw up and there's vomit everywhere. Usually that's a kind of a conversation stopper, right? No one wants to talk about vomit, and no one wants to hear about like, oh, you believe in aliens? Ooh, I'm out of here. I mean, those are the kind of conversation stoppers we would. What do we do to get someone away from us that we don't like? A good conversation stopper is pretend that you are vomiting, and everyone runs away. And then that later translated into, what do you do if someone tries to rob you? Same thing. No one wants to be around a vomiting person. Do you really want my money that much? Because it's gonna smell. I can't vomit on cue, but I could probably fake it for enough seconds where the person might go, hell no, I'm going to go to the next person, rob the next person. But that's what we're going through, guys. Right now, we're going through this massive awakening, even more than what we've been going through. All the stuff I mentioned yesterday, and now today when Kira was talking about it. And she's really knowledgeable. She has like a direct connection with Zadkiel. And she's like in her beautiful land. I don't know where they get their money from, how much money. They've got a lot of money. I don't know exactly where they got it, but they have this massive like land and this beautiful house. And I do know they charge an arm and a leg for their workshops. Otherwise, I would be going to Tosa Blue Mountain, which is 45 minutes from here, to go see them. And someday maybe I can afford it. We'll see. But yeah, they're here in Ecuador. They're older, though. They're like in their 60s. So maybe they had lives and careers before they got together and, actually saved their money. So maybe, that could be it. But, but very, very cool people. And they're very much in touch. And they're very much asking. And they're getting the information. Like all of us light workers, we all get information. But we all get different parts and pieces. And so it's like a puzzle. You got to see who you're going to pay attention to get the real information. You know, like there was somebody I was listening to quite a bit on YouTube, and then she started getting really strange, like a little bit judgmental, and then she started getting really, and I didn't block or delete her or anything like that. She didn't get that bad, but she started talking about the war and the shadow people against us, and and I'm like, that's duality, dude. Like, and I mentioned a few times, like, this is duality. You need to get out of that. You know, there's a spiritual war going on, and it's us versus them, and the reptilians versus this, and the cabal versus, and I'm like, oh my God, all this crap. Like, what the hell? She got in a trap. And only recently, like 2 days ago, she said, I realized that was just duality, and that was me, you know, trying to work some stuff out. And I realized we're all one, and it's like, yeah, hello, unity consciousness. That's where we are going. We all are one. We need to be together on this. And you guys need to be in touch with who you are on every level, every part of your being. If you have some shadow stuff you haven't worked out yet, it's okay. It's not too late. And you're not, alone in this. We all have childhood wounds that we're trying to fix still. We all have bad relationships we're trying to get over the energy of that still. There have been push me, pull you energies from people that maybe you haven't thought about in years, and all of a sudden you think about them because they're not over you yet. So they start thinking about you, and now you're like, how come that person's, face popped in my mind, or they're, like, what the hell was that? That doesn't make any sense, because, when you get a sudden overwhelming urge that you want to talk to somebody, but you don't really have a reason to talk to them, it's possible that it's because they're thinking about you. So we got to heal wounds on every level. Forgiveness, forgive other people, forgive yourself, forgive the situation, let things go. That's this week. That's your assignment for the week, I guess. And it's not me telling you what to do. This is what is literally happening, whether I ever told you this or not. So this is something that's going on for the whole world, all of the ascending ones, all of the people who are in the fifth dimension and moving up, people that are caring about spiritual stuff, people that are awake, and the sleeping ones are still complaining about things like dog poop on the sidewalk. It's like, that's all they want to worry about. Wow, your world is so freaking small, like, that's the big issue of the day, I don't even know if that's going on. I haven't even checked that stupid group app. I just haven't even checked it. I'm like, I just can't even with that. Like, I can't be bothered anymore. And I do pray for everybody on the app, though. I pray for everyone in the group. These are all my neighbors. And I've never had this kind of conversation with, like, everybody in a neighborhood before. 103 people on this app. I mean, so it's like, it's weird, even though people are fighting like brothers and sisters. It's a form of unity consciousness. So I occasionally will get on there and I'll just not really read the things, but I'll just imagine I'm sending love and light to every single person through their phone, right? Like, I'll look at this number, send this person love, send this person love. And sometimes I just look out the window and go, hey, I send everyone here love. Funny, something, Kira said, I guess she was in Lake Atitlan before she was here in Ecuador. Crazy. I used to live at Lake Atitlan, and now I live here in Ecuador. We're all on the same weird path. There are certain people that just go on the same weird path. You start in, Guatemala and Mexico, or Mexico and then Guatemala, and then you keep going on down south. And I didn't go to every country in between, but man, I mean, I've been in Central and South America for 7 years. Let's see, 7 years and 2 months. And it just freaks me out. It's like, yeah, I mean, I know that I was asked spiritually to be in Guatemala. I was asked spiritually to be in Ecuador. Like, whatever my energy is doing for the place, I needed to be here to help. So I am. And it's pretty cool because this place is helping me also. It's beneficial. But I've been feeling a pull towards Europe lately, and I don't know what's going to happen or when, but I think it has to do with my twin. So I'm not going to go there unless I meet my twin. And if I never meet my twin, I'll just live in Ecuador forever. So I'm happy with this place. That happy that it's cool. So somebody wrote me today, Kelsey, hello. You told me that you were going to think about coming to Ecuador, and I'm excited because we have to get together and see each other, and I'm excited about this idea. So if any of you do come to Ecuador, let me know, and we'll hang out. We'll go do something, I don't know what, but actually things are open again here. I think that the driving restrictions have been lifted. I think that a lot of restaurants are opening back up for the social distancing thing. My favorite Indian restaurant, oh my God. I'm going to have to order food from them though, because my son doesn't like to eat in public, and it's really good food when it's hot and fresh. And usually we take home a doggy bag, like we'll go and he'll eat a few bites, and then if people come and look at him, it's like, it's uncomfortable. I don't know if you guys remember being a teenager, but I was that way too. I don't want anyone to look at me eat. So it was just like, I hated that energy of that. So I might have to order from our favorite Indian food place again soon. Oh, it's so expensive though. Probably because we eat so much of the food because it's so darn good. Anyway, I miss Indian food, that's for sure. And I'm still missing licorice, red licorice, but that's not here in Ecuador. I have to either make it or import it. I'm thinking about importing it, just to be honest. All right, so I'm going to read to you guys now from the space weather and all that, because there's a few things going on. We have a few things happening. All right, trying to pull that up now. Spaceweather.com. So the solar wind speed right now is 394.9 kilometers per second. I thought the other one was high yesterday, so it has gone down from yesterday. A brand new cycle sunspot is emerging now, just above the equator of the sun, just a little bit to the west, a little bit northwest of the equator, which is the line. There's not an actual line in the sun, but the middle part of the sun. So I thought that was kind of interesting. The Ulu neutron counts today are high. The change from yesterday is 0.2% less than yesterday, so at 9.7% of the space age average. There is an incredible video of the Neowise comet that someone took. I thought it was a picture, and now it's like moving. I'm like, ooh, it's actually moving. This is really cool. And so yesterday I made a mistake. I said, I think there's like a meteor falling. It wasn't. It was the comet. Oh my God. So yesterday's pictures, you could go to spaceweather.com. They do keep all their pictures in their archives. So if you want to see the noctilucent clouds and the comet, now it's pretty exciting stuff, man. I think that, we might even be affected somehow by the comet. I remember when, is the Hale-Bopp comet, not Halley's comet, but the one where the people killed themselves. That happened the day that I married my husband. This comet was coming. It was like in March. It was just like this massive thing. And then on our way home from our honeymoon, they're talking about this cult that killed themselves the day before. And I looked at him and he looked at me, and I'm like, oh my God, we probably shouldn't have gotten married. We think that's a sign. Like, we thought it was a sign, and sure enough, 6 weeks later it was over. Still love him. I mean, but I met my soulmate that I was supposed to have kids with, and all of these feelings came up, and it was like, oh my God, and one thing led to another. And I did not have an affair, but see, I'm loyal even when I fell in love with somebody else, and I was just like, well, And I fell in love with them, and I was not in love with my husband. So that's a whole nother day, whole nother story. But crap happens, And now I'm just single for 3.5 years. I've been single. Just not really. I'm just waiting for my one true love, and that will be it for me. But, weird things happen during comets. I don't know. There's some weird energy with the comets. So I'm wondering what's going on with the Neo-Wise. And the fact that it's called Neo-Wise, I don't know why they're calling it that. Neo means new wisdom. That's what we are all in the middle of gaining right now. Whether you've been on the path since the 80s or since 8 o'clock yesterday morning. Neo-Wise. And I feel like there's an energy there. Anyway, okay. There are no current significant coronal holes on the Earth's side of the sun, which is pretty brilliant. That means we're not going to get any cosmic radiation, like we need any extra anything right now. All-Sky Fireball Network from NASA's All-Sky cameras did report 8 fireballs exploding over the United States today. 7 of them were sporadic, and 1 was a microscorpiid. So I thought that was pretty cool. There's actually 2, by the way. There's 2 videos of this comet. Oh, one's a still picture next to, it looks like Texas. I don't even know. But, oh no, it's Arizona. Yeah, there's like a wind. It's a really cool picture, actually. It's like a wind, I don't know, call it a turbine. Windmill. It's a windmill. And it's actually pretty cool. Really pretty sky. When the sky was turning from peach to blue right at dusk. Gorgeous, gorgeous picture. And then the other one is, it's like moving through the air. It's crazy. Anyway, if you want to go check those out, that's on spaceweather.com. The Schumann Resonance coming out of Italy today. Not a lot going on. It's power 35 after yesterday's spike of 99. And yay, HeartMath.org is up again. HeartMath.org. This is the HeartMath Institute, and they do have the Schumann Resonance news from around the world. Not all of it. They have 6 cities, okay, so I had it queued up, and now suddenly I have to re-queue it up again, darn it. So, well, I'm going to have to pause this for a second. And all right, there we go. I finally got it to work. It's a very hard website to deal with on a tablet. Usually I have it queued up on my computer, but long story about that. I already told you guys about the hackers and the virus and having to reset everything and trying to find somebody around here who can get to 100% of the data to make sure everything is reset fully. So I don't want anything to hide and get back on the network. Anyway, Sunday, July 5th was the most recent information of the Schumann Resonance's power coming from the GCMS magnetometer from heartmath.org. And this is what they had at 2 o'clock in the, in the morning, Sunday, July 5th. So that's 2 days ago. California was at 159 hertz frequency. Hafuf, Saudi Arabia was at 0. Lithuania was at 168 hertz frequency. Ooh, this one's high. Alberta, Canada, 398 hertz frequency. Wow. That's really almost 400. I bet it went up. I bet tomorrow we'll see that it did actually go up the next day. And Northland, New Zealand was at 87 hertz frequency. So awesome. That's definitely in the 5th dimensional range. And by the way, the 0 in Hofuf, it might be that the equipment is down, not that the Schumann is actually at 0. But we don't have a way of knowing. I just want to throw that out there because it's possible that they're not at 0. It's possible that they're way the hell up, up there, but their equipment is down, so we wouldn't know, right? Just saying. So last but not least, we have Hululu, South Africa. They are at 140 hertz frequency. And again, this is the Schumann Resonance. Actual science that backs me up that says we're in the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension starts at 40 hertz frequency. And for years and years and decades and centuries, we've been living at 7.83 hertz frequency. And now the ionosphere between the ionosphere and the earth, there's this resonance inside that cavity, and that's the Schumann resonance that's been being recorded, and it's always been 7.83, always. A little bit of fluctuation here and there, maybe hopping up to 8 or 9. And I remember when I first heard of it hopping up to 11, I was like, whoa. And now we're looking at 398 on Sunday. We are in the fifth dimension, guys. And buckle up, because it continues to be kind of a bumpy ride. But this is why I go over so much science. It does back up with what I'm saying. I mean, if you know that the solar wind is hitting, and then all of a sudden you're the hell out of it, and you're like, what the flock happened? I feel like I need to go back to bed. I just had 8 hours of sleep. Or you're mentally foggy and you can't remember what happened an hour ago. Or you wake up and you're throwing up and you don't know why, or you're nauseated, you don't know why. Thank God that's not happened. But that is an ascension symptom that's been happening to some people, actually. Just so you know. I mean, that's... All right, here we go. I have 3 minutes remaining, so let's get on into it. acim.org, A Course in Miracles. So it's going to help unravel some stuff that might be raveled wrong in your mind. I know it's helping me. I hope it's helping you too. We are on lesson 328 today. I choose the second place to gain the first. I choose the second place to gain the first. What seems to be the second place is first, for all things we perceive are upside down until we listen to the voice of God, the voice for God. It seems that we will gain autonomy, but by our striving to be separate, that our independence from the rest of God's creation is the way in which salvation is obtained. Yet all we find is sickness, suffering, and loss and death. This is not what our Father wills for us, nor is there any second to His will. To join with His is but to find our own. And since our will is His, it is to Him that we must go to recognize our will. There is no will but yours, and I am glad that nothing I imagine contradicts what you would have me be. It is your will that I be wholly safe, eternally at peace, and happily I share that will which you, my Father, gave as part of me. I choose the second place to gain the first. And that was, again, lesson 328. There are 365, so we're almost finished with that. Give it a couple months and we will not have this section anymore of the show. But I hope you have enjoyed hearing the Foundation for Inner Peace lessons called A Course in Miracles. It's helped me unravel some stuff, and I'll probably from time to time revisit it privately away from the show. I might start it again, Maybe in January I'll start it from the beginning and go through all 365 days of the lesson. Again, just to have it fully in my mind, Anyway, I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, I'm going to be channeling God Himself for you. He said He wanted to talk to you guys and tell you some things about what's going on. I don't know exactly what He means. Only He knows what He means fully. but I think he might be addressing what I talked about during this part. So, well, we'll see. We'll see in a minute, right after these messages. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be right back. It's that time of year, guys. Finally. OMG. I am up for not only one, but 2 People's Choice Podcast Awards this year. I had no idea. I just found out. Okay, the voting starts today, July 1st, and goes through the 31st of July. And I need you guys to nominate my podcast. This is how you do it. Go to podcastawards.com and you have to sign up in order to nominate me, in order to vote. And you have to go to the very first category at the top, and it's the Adam Curry's People's Choice Podcast Award. And I'm way down on the list because, M, Metaphysical Soul Speak, the podcast. And you just click that. And then when you're done with that section, you go to the religion and spirituality category. And again, cast your vote for Metaphysical Soul Speak, the podcast. And then you have to go way at the bottom part of the page, and say, save my nominations. And that's it. It's that simple. It takes less than 2 minutes, probably 1 minute if you have high-speed internet, of course. It's not that much. You can even do this on your phone. It's super, super simple. I voted for myself on my tablet. OMG. So thank you for your continued support and listenership and voting for this show, because by doing so, you're keeping the show alive and we're getting the word out so that other people can benefit from my expertise. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's high time you did. It is the absolute easiest way to make a podcast. First of all, it's absolutely free. Second of all, they have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. You guys have known that I've been doing this for 8 months using the Anchor.fm app right on my cell phone, and I have done it everywhere, right? I have recorded this in my living room, my bedroom, little cafes in Quito, Ecuador, all over Cuenca. It's so absolutely easy to make your podcast, and editing is just a snap. Anchor also will distribute your podcast for you, and it took me about 2.5 months to become syndicated, and now I'm available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more, and so can you. You can make money from your podcast also, and there's no minimum requirement. You get paid from your very first listener. It is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. So please, if you are interested in making a podcast of your very own, do not hesitate to start with Anchor. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. All right, guys, I am a telepathic channel. Talked about telepathy in the first half of the show. If you're just tuning in and this is your first episode, I do not allow entities to take over my body. God already has control of my body anyway, right? Because if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't even be animated, right? But I just I don't know, I'm Virgo. I don't know if it's that. It just kind of gives me the willies. I just don't like entities taking over where I don't know what's going on. And I'll wake up an hour later like, what happened? What happened? Right? It's not me, not my style. So I do telepath. I hear the voice of God in my mind, and I will relay it to you in the way that I hear it. So cadence, the rhythm, so sometimes it sounds like I'm channeling in a way that my body's taken over, but really I'm just trying to get the energy and the feel of what I'm getting. I will use muscle testing in the event that I don't think that I heard something right. If there's a word I'm not quite getting, I'll use muscle testing, or I'll ask God to repeat something or reiterate it in a different way, just to get the information and energy across. But I'm a pretty clear channel for the most part, I think. A lot of people have said so I'm glad about that for the feedback. It's helpful because I'm always hoping I'm saying the right things. But you could ask me an hour after I'm done, I'm not going to remember what happened, because I do go into kind of a trance. And I don't listen to what I'm saying as much as I'm relaying what is being said, and I'm just like an interpreter. And then later I'll remember bits and pieces, and I'll go, ooh, well, that's good information. And then sometimes I'll have to listen to my show myself after, which kind of cringes me. I don't really like listening to myself when I'm done. I just want to be done. But sometimes I do, just so I could get a good quote for, my Instagram, so that I could remind you guys of something that was said. But anyway, that's just what it is. I've been channeling my whole life. I've been telepathing with, animals since I was 3. And I think possibly God. I think I was talking to God when I was 3 and other beings, but I didn't really channel it actively for other people until I was 28, and I channeled for the first time for my husband. Actually, we weren't married yet, and we had just moved in together, and we were planning, his divorce, and then my divorce, and then we're planning, to get married after all that. But one day we were having a conversation, and I saw something, this little spiritual statue, this little tiny spiritual statue, and it was of a Chinese man. And I'm like, who is this? Is this one of the spiritual masters? Because he was very deeply spiritual. And he said, yeah, that's Master Po. I'm like, ooh, who's he? He's like, no one really knows. There's nothing. I've never been able to find anything written on him, but Master Po was a Chinese. He says, I think he was a Buddhist monk, and he is my spiritual master. And he came to me in meditation one day, and then someone happened to find this little Chinaman, this little tiny, he's dressed like in traditional Chinese, like Buddhist master type gear. And in this little, it was like an inch and a half tall. And he said, I think this is him, or I think somehow this came to me, and I think it's him. And while I was holding it, all of a sudden, his master appeared. I felt him in my mind's eye. I saw him in my mind's eye, and I felt his presence near me. He says, talk to him. And I'm like, what? He's like nudging me, talk to him. So I did. I said, okay, well, I'm going to go into a trance, and he's going to tell you some things through me. And I've never done this before. And he said, okay, go for it. I don't really remember what he was saying, but I mean, he was telling him not to be guilty because he had just left his wife of 17 years for me. And I just left my husband of, 17 minutes for him. No, I hadn't been married but 6 weeks. But it was meant to be. It was all karma stuff. The people that we left deserved that because it was their karma. Well, at the time we didn't know that. We weren't trying to punish them. It was just the way the world works. Karma. Duality world. Ugh. I'm glad that's over. That's so 3D. I'm going to make a t-shirt that says that. All right. So I just wanted to let you guys know I've been channeling since I was 28. I'm 51 right now, so going to be 52 coming up in August. Thank you, God, I don't look like it, but anyway, there you go. So I'm already connected to Prime Creator. I'm going to take a couple deep breaths to go into the trance, and then I will tell you what he wants me to tell you. There you go. He says he's going to channel about 36 minutes, so all right. All right, go ahead, God. Begin that transmission now. Greetings, it is I, your Prime Creator. I would like to remind you at this point of your journey, at this juncture, that you are doing everything that you meant to do when you came here. You are supposed to go through some of the hard things, learn these lessons. Many of you have been lamenting the fact that life is not the happy joyride vacation you thought it would be. Many of you are inherently aware of what life could be, and yet you go through these hard lessons and you wonder if you went wrong somewhere. And I'm here to tell you that no, you did not go wrong anywhere. The hard lessons, the people betraying you, the people who say one thing and do another. These are all things that are meant to fortify you as an individual, as a person. Because you learn to rely on yourself. You turn inwardly. Some of you turn to God. You turn to me, or Goddess, Divine Mother. You turn to sometimes one of the lesser gods. But it sets you apart from other people who just want to get revenge and they want to get back at the other person, and they stalk them and try to punish them and try to, in the outward world, go do things against them. Ruin their life, make their life a, quote, living hell, unquote. What sets you apart from people who do those things is that they go on the journey in the path of the material world. That's all they can see. That's all they can hear. That's all they know, and that's all they'll ever know, and that's all they'll ever do. But they chose that journey to help you. They chose that journey to aid you in your spiritual growth, in your journey, and in a way, they are sacrificing themselves. They are sacrificing themselves so that you can have your spiritual growth. Because the more they hound you, the more they're relentless, the more they push you to that brink. The more stress that they cause and create in your life and in your mind and in your heart and in your aura and in your psyche, the more stress, the more pressure they put on you, the more you emerge as a hardened, spiritual diamond with complete clarity. The more they push outwardly, the more you seek the answers inwardly. And the more that you go through, the faster you grow through it all. So even though this seems like such a pain in the butt for you, this is such a pain, why can't life just be so blissful, happy? Why can't I just pray on a mountaintop every day? And why can't I live my life in a cave meditating? Why can't I spend my days swimming in the ocean and listening to the sounds of the seagulls flying overhead? Why must I go through the pain? Why must I go through the terror? Why must I deal with these people who are not spiritual like me? They're preying upon me. The narcissists and the sociopaths and the materialists, oh my. It's because you chose this. It's because they chose this. You have mutual agreements that you will have a certain kind of personality. You will have a certain kind of astrological, spiritual alignment when you're born. You will have certain energies pushing and pressing upon you from the minute you take your first breath. You have the parents that you're going to either suffer from, or you have parents that are going to coddle you. Either way, they mold and shape you in ways that will create a deeper spiritual experience for you in the long run, in the long haul. Life is a series of experiences that mold and shape you. And as Khalil Gibran says, love will mold you into, like bread, into whiteness. It will mold and shape you into whiteness. It will grind you down. Life will grind you down like wheat. But this is how you get to be the bread of life. This is how you grow yourself to the highest spiritual pinnacle of yourself. So for you who seek to blame and hate and be angry at those who did not treat you right, I'm here to tell you that you chose that path, but don't continue on the path of blaming and not forgiving. Forgiving and blaming and all of that is forgetting to look inside to heal that wound. When you heal the wound, you grow spiritually. Did you deserve to get treated well? Yes, you did. But sometimes you chose a harder path so that you could grow spiritually. And some of you chose to be abused and abandoned. Some of you chose an extremely hard path, but only because you saw the outcome of where you're headed, where you're going, how strong and how empowered and how enlightened you would be on the other end of that. And looking back from the enlightened journeyman's viewpoint, you would most likely have chosen it again for yourself. So it keeps you in a place of stuckness to cajole and blame and hate and anger towards that which you chose to accept as your experience here. You would like to think that you're a perfect, wonderful soul and should have been treated perfectly, wonderfully in every moment, and that you deserve to treat everybody else perfectly, wonderfully in every moment. And how come the world isn't just like that? But if everything was perfect and wonderful, why did you leave heaven? Because that's where it is perfect. That's where it is wonderful. You chose to come down into a very dense consciousness energy. And at this time of the world, at this time and space where you find yourself in this moment, you realize that you chose to come from a very dense place and lift yourself up into the next dimension. This is the big, big reveal. This is what you wished for yourself. And you wish to do this with all of your fellow travelers on planet Earth. Some of you have experienced extreme violence. Some of you have experienced extreme emotions such as depression and anxiety, suicidal thoughts. Some of you have had children that had these thoughts, and it's really plagued your heart, your soul, your mind. Some of you had nothing particularly go wrong. You've had a pretty good life up until now, and then all of a sudden shit hits the fan, right? Some of you had a hard childhood, so your adulthood would be easier. Some of you had a hard adulthood ahead, but you had a wonderful childhood, which gave you the strength to deal with it. Everybody's experience is different, and being jealous of other people's experience is not a good thing. It doesn't serve you in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. It does not help. Do not be jealous of other people for their experience. If someone seems to have a wonderful and pleasant and beautiful life that you just cherish so in your heart of hearts, you wish it was yours, you become jealous because how do they rate over you, right? How did they get that? When we're all equal in the eyes of God, you say, but maybe they earned it because in a past life they had a really, really bad past life and chose an easy life this time. Everybody has different things that they learn, and everybody has different experiences that they learn, but there are different things that happen with each individual over the course of many, many lifetimes, not just one life. So what you see now is not all there is. You're in a material world, but you are a spiritual person. You are a spiritual being. You have so much more vast, incredibly vast libraries inside you, not just an encyclopedia set of knowledge, but in your soul you contain libraries from many galaxies, from many worlds, from many dimensions, from so many more sources than you can possibly imagine. So when someone says the answer is inside you, all the answers of the universe are inside you, it's literally true. You can tap into the energy of anything you want. You can tap into information on eagles, but not just that they are the color brown and build nests in the mountains. You can enter the body of an eagle, fly around with it, and understand an eagle's perspective by the way he goes about his day. You have the power to know everything if you just accept that you have this, and you can learn through your spiritual guidance by asking me, Prime Creator, by talking to your higher guidance team. Just ask, how can you learn about whatever it is you want to learn about? The life of a ladybug, for example. What was in Hitler's last mind? Or Hitler's last thoughts in his mind before he took his last dying breath? What was his last thoughts? Maybe you want to know that, because you want to see what is inside the mind of what you deem to be a monster. Maybe that's not your style at all. Maybe you want to know what Jesus did after, Yeshua, after he rose again, after he went on his merry way and with his lovely wife, and they went off and had a life together. Where did he go? What happened? Maybe you want to know that. You have the ability to know literally anything and everything in the world, in all the worlds. You can go back to Atlantis in your mind. You could go there in your dreams. You could astral project there. You now have the ability because it's been unlocked. You can travel back and forth in time with your consciousness. There was a time in which humanity had this locked. It wasn't really available. You had to rely on stories, and you had to rely on how they were passed down through the ages, what happened in the past. What happens in the future, well, no one really knew, but the soothsayers and the sages, the witches, the people that had the gift of second sight, and many times these people did not have actual sight. It's written in your books, you can see. Haha, pun intended, you could see. You could see the way it was. People did have a lot more magic before, and you will have a lot more magic again, but you're going to have something more than what they had back in the days of the magic. You have powerful spiritual insights. You have powerful spiritual growth at your side. You have powerful spiritual energy with you. Everything has been learning and growing and changing and going in the way of a higher spiritual path, of a higher spiritual nature. So when the magic comes back, you're going to see pretty quickly that it has returned. It's not just a ritual you do in your mom's basement so that you could feel better about the way you look or about something that happened. When you think about TV shows and movies and books about magic, if it's not fiction, it just seems like it's not really real. You light a candle, you say a few words, and something either changes or doesn't, but it doesn't really seem like your words had any power. Until now. Things are rapidly growing and changing and increasing in the ways that your magic will be revealed to you to be absolutely palpable in ways you never expected. Some of you have done money grids when you were absolutely broke and afraid that you were going to have to leave your home. because you can't afford to be there anymore. And lo and behold, your magic worked. Now you have 5 times more money coming in than you did before. These are examples that are shown all over the world. These examples have been starting to take hold. He's saying take foot? Oh, I'm sorry, take a foothold, sorry. I'm like, what? Take a foot? No. Take a foothold. Okay, got it. Okay, so these energies around the world have started to take a foothold. And while there are many videos that people have faked to make it seem cool, there are other videos that are actually real that might start to make you think that, wow, magic is really coming back. Maybe all the stories and legends of old aren't really tales of the imagination. They're not flights of fancy because of one too many magic mushrooms gathered in the woods on a rainy day. Maybe, just maybe, these things were real. Maybe, just maybe, they're real now. Maybe, just maybe, they're going to become way more intense. I'm here to tell you, yes, magic is real. Magic is coming back. There's nothing wrong with you who wishes to perform magic, by the way. Now, is this me saying this or you? It's you. Okay, he's saying this because something it seems like I would say, so I'm like, I want to make sure I'm doing muscle testing. Okay, so go ahead, say it now. Magic was given to you in example by Yeshua, Jesus. How is it that a religion created from his teachings ignored the fact that he was performing magic, and it was labeled as miracles, and anybody who came after him trying to do magic were condemned? He said you could do all this and more, and yet it seems to me that the roles were flipped. And most churches teach that you have to wait till you get to heaven for your rewards. And your rewards are available, but you have to do the spiritual work, go on the spiritual journey, and learn to ascend yourself spiritually. Now, by the time your magic is going to be absolutely intense and powerful, and by the time you're able to create the loaves and the fishes like Jesus did, you're not going to really focus anymore on the magic. And you might consider this a cosmic joke or dirty trick of the universe. In a way, it kind of is. But it's also a way to alleviate the potential problems that would arise of unconscious folks having powerful magic at their disposal. You have to have a very high vibrational consciousness. You have to have a very high level of understanding of the spiritual world. You have to know yourself. You have to become a self-realized person. And when you become a self-realized master, and you realize nothing is impossible in you, nothing is impossible in your world. Miracles pass unseen before your eyes on a day-to-day basis. You don't realize or recognize it yet. But you will. You will. I wanted to address some of the more shadow sides of life, the shadowy things tonight. Many of you are still struggling, and this is why I wanted to bring it to your attention that you chose to go through the hard things so that you would turn inwardly and be more spiritual. We are not going to focus on the blame and all the negative stuff that the people who did things to you that upset you. I mean, some of them are bad. We know. A lot of you have PTSD. The post-traumatic stress disorder is very much a rampant thing. And why is that now versus thousands of years ago? Well, maybe people had it then, but it does seem like it happens a lot more often now. It's quite possible that because so many of you came here to spiritually grow at once and awaken together, that you all had to go through this mass collective trauma on a massive scale so that you can go through a mass collective uplift and ascension together. Now, even though you picked a life, or you picked to be with people, you chose for things bad to happen to you. Now, this doesn't mean that some people who were the quote-unquote baddies, a lot of them crossed the line. A lot of them got into that energy and they started to enjoy being mean. They started to enjoy being violent or abusive in one way or many. They will be punished accordingly to their own higher self. Karma does come to everybody. Your actions when you get here are your actions. So if you are the abuser, you can't just say, well, they chose it, so I'm going to keep beating them. No, it doesn't work that way. A lot of times you'll pick an unconscious person who has violent tendencies in order for you to grow. But if they become conscious that you chose that, they need to stop. They have to realize as soon as they raise their consciousness, they go, oh gosh, I'm really sorry. I didn't know what I was doing. But if they don't have the level of mind to do that, people do get punished for what they do. But at the same time, certain events have to take place. And so people will go into your pathway to teach you these lessons. But it's not that they are the teacher, it's the experience that is the teacher. But once you wake up, you realize, I don't deserve that. I don't deserve to be beaten or abused or screamed at or yelled at. I don't deserve that. And once you realize that you did not deserve that, you don't deserve it now, and you don't deserve it in the future, your spiritual life becomes very vibrant and alive. And once you realize that you deserve better and you treat yourself better, then you can move up into a whole new world, a whole new level of existence and being. And that's when you find your bliss, your passion, what you do in life. That's when you find your one true love, if that's your path. If you are a twin flame, that's when your twin flame comes. If that is the life you chose for yourself. Some of you money will come very, very easy at a young age, and you just point fingers and blame other people that don't have it. You think, well, what's wrong with them? It was so easy. My God, this was the easiest thing in the world. I'm a millionaire. How could they not be millionaires? They must be lazy. And that's your judgmental. Sometimes you get things handed to you so that you can then start to realize maybe these people, if you judge them out loud, they leave. They're no longer your friends. And that is your experience, and that becomes your teacher. Judging other people, that pushes them away, and then you end up alone. Some people come into this world and they are born rich and they stay rich, and then all of a sudden, boom, they lose it all. And that's when they start spiritual seeking. And some people only spiritual seek from the beginning and later become wealthy, or at least comfortably well off. Everybody has a different path, and it's not fair to judge other people based on if they have money or not have money. Some people choose to be wealthy their whole lives, and that's not their issue. They have other issues. Some people choose to have a life of complete poverty, and they have to rely on the kindness of strangers to survive. But that's also a catalyst for deep spiritual growth. And some people have everything they need, but they're never wealthy, but they're never poor either. They're in the middle. That's not the issue they chose to have. So regardless of what you see other people going through, you don't need to judge them, cajole them, taunt them, tease them, blame them, point fingers at them. And you don't need to do this to yourself either. Many of you have gone through mass loss, massive amounts of loss in your life. From people, from jobs, places you lived, relationships, material goods, losing everything. The lessons have gotten bigger because the stakes have increased to an exponential level. Lifting up an entire planet full of people and the planet itself to another dimension is no easy task. Being aware of your shadow self and embracing the dark side and the light side inside you, and embracing the fact that evil does exist in the world, good does exist in the world. Embracing the fact that they both exist doesn't mean you're going to bring evil to you or even draw more good into your life. Just embracing and accepting the fact that it exists in that duality that you are now coming out of. That's how you're going to get out of it. Loving all the things, even the bad things, just sending love to those things. You don't have to become bad. We're not recommending this. When I say we, during this discussion, by the way, I mean Divine Mother. As above, so below. As below, so above. You did not spring from my head. Divine Goddess is alive and well. She is my divine counterpart. You may pray to either one of us. You don't have to pray if you don't feel like it. But we consider having a conversation so much more pleasant and amazing. We invite you to ask us anything you want, anytime. If you cannot telepath with us yet, ask us to open up your third eye, open up your ear chakras, ask us to open up your world in a way that you can telepath with us. But until that happens, have a God notebook. Get yourself a notebook. It could be a little tiny book. Doesn't have to be expensive or fancy. It could just be a few pieces of loose leaf paper in a notebook, but just write your questions to us and ask for signs that will point your way to the answers. Now, your answers could come in the form of a TV show you happen to tune into, or you turn on the radio and the answer might be in a song. Answer might be in a neighbor kid who comes by and just says a sentence that absolutely blows your mind away because that's what you asked. Oh my God. Indeed. Oh my God. Sometimes the answers will come in the wind. If you are standing facing the wind, or maybe the wind is shifting, you can say, I want an answer if the wind goes across my left cheek towards my right cheek. That answer is yes. If it goes from my right cheek to my left cheek, the answer is no. Or right cheek to left cheek, sorry, is the last thing. Sorry. God showed me and then I think I said it wrong. I'm dyslexic. God is not. He says, au contraire, I am everything. I am dyslexic as well as lexic. That's wonderful. Definitely a lexicon. That's, you have all the words. He says, yeah, and I invent more all the time. Is awesome. He says, but you could do this in the wind. What else, God? What else? You can just ask for a sign in nature, or just ask for a sign in general. We will send you all the answers, and we will help increase your ability to telepath with us and have the conversations. But until that happens, we bridge the gap by sending you number messages, song messages. If you think of a song that's in your, out of nowhere, a song comes into your mind, that's an answer to what you've been asking. You will hear it in your mind out of nowhere. Even if you haven't heard it for years, all of a sudden that song will pop in your head, and that will be your answer. Sometimes we will give you a feeling, an energetic feeling. If you ask, is this good for me? Is this bad for me? You think of the thing and you feel bad in your body and in your emotional body. It feels bad. That's your answer. Don't do it. If you think about something and it feels really good and you don't have any tension in your solar plexus at all, you have no tension in your stomach or your mind or your heart at all, then that's a good thing for you. Learn to trust the signs. Learn to trust yourself. Learn to love your life and embrace all the parts, good and bad. Because everything is spiritual. Everybody is in a state of flux. Everybody is learning and growing. Even the people who are very mired in the depths of the materialistic world, when they are very much into the material and they don't see anything beyond what is right in front of them. They are every bit as spiritual as you, they're just still sleeping. Don't judge them, love them. Let them go on their way. You don't have to associate with them. But know that they are you too. If they're asleep, they're being ignorant, that's a part of you that you need to heal. So heal it inside yourself. The world around you will change and learn and grow with you. Rise up, and the world rises with you. Light up, and the whole world will become enlightened with you. Bring yourself to a state of grace, and the world will become a better place. I am the Prime Creator, the Lord your God. I'm here with Divine Mother, the Goddess of all. We are your beloved parents. You are our beloved children. We are forever in your debt for giving us the experience a physicality that we so crave to learn and know about. You are sacred, you are divine, you are loved till the end of time. Understand it, know it, feel it so that it is palpable inside of you. Magic is coming back, don't forget. You are powerful, spiritual, special, magical beings. Learn to utilize your power for a positive purpose. Banish negativity, but also embrace that negativity is in the field of possibilities and it does exist. By embracing duality, you pop yourself into a new reality that no longer needs that to exist. We hope that you've enjoyed these secrets that we've given you tonight. We love not only you, but each and every cell in your body, every hair on your head, every breath that enters your lungs. We love every part of you. Every drop of blood that pumps through your heart, we love that too. You are sacred, you are divine. We said this before, we'll say it again. You are sacred, you are divine. Allow for the field of possibilities to open you up. Understand how powerful and brave and sacred you are to us. Don't forget, you are very special. You do deserve the best. Awaken to that and accept only the best for yourself from now on. You are done suffering. Go into the light. My little ones, my children, if that makes you feel comfortable. That image of being a child deeply loved. Accept that for yourself. Go into the light, my queens, my kings, my gods, my goddesses, my divine beings on earth. My powerful souls, my spiritual masters, my ascended ones. Keep going, go, go, go towards the light. Up, 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 raise your vibration. Dance and sing and play and accept only good for yourself. From this point forward. Stop blaming yourself for the things that happen. Stop blaming others for the things that happen. Cut the cords of that and lift yourself up. Float upon the butterfly wings of life. Rise from the muck and the mire and achieve all that you desire. We are constantly embracing you. Ask for the communication because we are here and we will do it. We will go for it with you. We will go forward with all communication with you. We are always sending you our blessings. You have but accept them and they are yours. So with that, we are leaving for the evening, but we never leave your world. We never leave your mind. We are always in your heart. Just feel us there and know us. Trust the guidance that you receive. I am the prime creator of the world, the Lord your God, and I have enjoyed speaking with you tonight. End transmission. All right, guys. Well, there you go. There you have it. I hope that you have enjoyed this one. I have connected with God in a way that I constantly am in contact with Him. I never am not connected with God anymore. So He knows my innermost thoughts. I'm okay with God understanding because He already did anyway. Telepathing with Him and Him knowing every thought in my head. and counseling me when I have a thought that goes wrong or astray or awry. God forbid. Pun intended. I enjoy the instruction, the constant help. It feels safe and secure and comfortable. And I enjoy having this kind of a connection. It's been great for me. And if you want to do this for yourself, all you have to say is, God, I'd like to be connected with you. For always. Help me learn and grow. Teach me everything. And when you're having a bad day, sad day, a sexy day, a fun day, a Monday or a Sunday, just ask God for all the advice and all the help of everything. God created everything. Nothing is off the table to have this conversation. Anyway, I hope that you guys have enjoyed tonight's show. Please go vote for me. If you haven't, just go nominate Metaphysical Soul Speak the podcast at podcastawards.com. You heard the message of that earlier. I just recorded it because I don't want to have to reiterate that every single time for this month. But I thank you for those of you who have. I keep getting messages pouring in. I voted for you. I voted for you. It's like, thank you guys. I don't know what the outcome will be, but I know that I have to go through this. So it would be nice to win the award. It's lovely to be nominated by you guys. It makes me happy that you care so much. And I care so much for you guys. I love each and every one of you so, so much. And I'm so happy that we are ascending together. We're in the same boat and we're floating up, up, up together. I love that. So I'll be back tomorrow with all unique and original programming, just like always. But until then, guys, I'm signing off with peace and joy and the high vibes of the Holy Fifth Dimension. Until next time, guys, peace. Metaphysical Soul Speak is run on sponsors and listener support. This means listeners like you. If you are so inclined to support my efforts and my little podcast, please visit me at anchor.fm/metaphysical and pledge an amount of your choosing today. Thank you.